to make ends meet to endless hours in traffic, job insecurity, rising food prices, academic pressure, family responsibilities, and growing concerns about safety. Many people are living under constant and unrelenting pressure. For some, stress comes from trying to survive on limited income. For others, it is the pressure to succeed, meet expectations, or simply keep going in an increasingly demanding society. In cities and rural communities alike, stress has quietly become part of everyday life. Health experts estimate that more than 1 in 3 Nigerians experience high levels of stress, with young adults, students, and the working population among the most affected. Across hospitals and clinics nationwide, doctors are recording a steady increase in stress-related conditions, including high blood pressure, ulcers, sleep disorders, anxiety, depression, and health-related complications. In today's Nigeria, phrases like "no rest," "too much pressure," or "Nigeria will stress you" have become common expressions. They reflect how stress has been normalized, often brushed aside as a normal part of life. Many people wear exhaustion as a badge of strength, pushing their bodies and minds beyond safe limits. But medical experts warn that stress is not just a mental or emotional issue. When stress becomes prolonged or unmanaged, it affects the entire body. It can weaken the immune system, disrupt sleep and digestion, increase blood pressure, affect health, and gradually wear down vital organs. In severe cases, stress can contribute to sudden and unexpected health emergencies. Despite this risk, many Nigerians ignore early warning signs: headaches, constant fatigue, irritability, poor sleep, and anxiety, often because of economic pressures, lack of awareness, or the belief that rest and care are luxuries they cannot afford. Today on Watch Your Back, we take a closer look at how stress affects both the mind and the body, why it should never be ignored, and what practical steps Nigerians can take to protect their health and well-being in the face of daily pressure. Thank you for joining us on this episode of Watch Your Back. This is Third Africa Television, and my name is Margaret Ogumesin. On this episode of the program, we'll be talking about stress and how it affects our health. Stress is something that everyone feels, but we fail to talk about it, and we don't plan for it. So today we'll be talking about stress, how it affects our health, and what we really need to do to stay safe. And to look into this, to enlighten us more on what stress is and how we need to manage it or stay away from stress, is Dr. Levin Damisah. He's a public health physician and a development consultant in family dynamics and geopolitics. You're welcome to the program, sir.
Thank you very much.
It's so good to have you in our studio. Meeting you is like maybe you've been here before, or I've met you somewhere. You're someone that we can interact with, and I know during the course of the program we'll learn a lot from you. So you're welcome to the program.
Thank you very much.
Yes, so let's talk about stress and how it affects our health. You know, as let me say Nigerians or maybe individuals, is something that we shy away from, or something that we fail to talk about, or something that for most of us we consider as normal. So as a medical expert, or from the medical perspective, we really need to know what stress is outside the normal definition of stress, or what we know stress to be. From the medical perspective, what is stress, and how can we manage it? And is this a problem? Is this something we need to manage, or is this something we need to stay away from?
Okay, thank you very much, Ms. Margaret. Am I correct?
Yes.
Yeah. Stress evoke different responses to different people. And I will make a disclaimer that, interestingly, the subject of stress is not just medical.
Okay.
It has medical components. It has spiritual components. It has all sorts of components. So that is why stress is taught in the military, in the academia, because everybody tends to come under stress. Now, when you bring it down to the African context, whereby most of us live in denial, it becomes more difficult to appreciate, to tell people about stress. So I must congratulate your TV station for bringing this subject into the public domain for discussion. Riding on that, the subject stress, So it also evokes negative response. When you say I'm under stress, people think of it in the very negative.
Okay.
However, stress is a word. It does not mean negative or positive. What is stress to some people may not be stress to others. So in a simple context or definition, globally, there's no single definition of stress, interestingly.
Okay.
But what is near, or what we could liken to it here is pressure. Pressure, strain, tension. These are all quasi-synonyms of stress. So basically, stress is a way of life, and stress actually means how the body responds to changes.
Okay.
Yeah, that is stress. And like I said earlier on, stress does not mean negativity. Stress can be positive, which we call eustress. Stress can be negative, which we become distress. So stress depends on the color. It's a perception thing. Let me look at it that way. Stress is more of a perception, because what is stressful to A may not be stressful to B.
Okay.
So stress has more to do with individual coping capability. Because what is pressure to a 14-year-old may not be pressure to a 24-year-old, even though they are facing the same thing. For example, a 10-year-old child going for an examination, maybe GSS, a common entrance examination, that is a stress of its own. A university student go for final year project defense is a form of exam, is a stress of its own.
Okay.
But their response will be different because of perception. So stress is both individualized and so let me just stop at there for now. So maybe as we go deeper, then we'll begin to bring in the various aspects of stress and how it applies to us in our productivity and our daily life.
I was able to get something from what you said. You said something about stress being positive. So how is stress positive?
Yeah. Okay. Stress is positive. So, when you say stress could be positive, rather, stress could be positive depending on perception. Okay. For example, some people look forward to travel by air. They are happy. To some persons, when they are packing for flight, they are overwhelmed. So what is positive to one person is negative to another person. A student going to write for an exam is a positive stress, because without exam, you won't be promoted. So stress, anything that put pressure, like I said initially, stress is your adaptation to change, adaptation to strain, adaptation to pull. We'll come to that later. You need some form of pressure to be productive in life. So people who don't have stress or who don't want stress at all, they're actually praying for me to die. Because when you say, God, remove stress from me, you are saying, God, remove every essence of living from me. Because stress is, there's stress in life and there's stress for the living. Only dead men don't face stress.
Okay.
Are you getting me now? So it is when stress or whatever, we'll come to that. But if what is causing that stress is prevalent for a long time, it becomes counterproductive. That's when the person enters the phase of distress or burnout, which I believe will come to that. So stress can be positive. Look, anything that make, like changing a school. For example, if you leave your primary school, enter secondary school, boarding house, or you enter one of the Ivy League university in America or in Britain, in Nigeria here, it's a positive stress. Change the environment. So stress depends more on the individual. What is your perception? And so we now look at how people define stress cannot be divorced from their background and their resilience. In our own time, when you go for exams, any small thing, you are happy. But now, Gen Z will tell you, I'm mentally stressed.
Yeah, it's stressful.
Because to them, because, let me say it here. I didn't know of anything called school run until I finished secondary school.
Okay.
That tells you, go grow up in the village, school run, how? You trek to school. That is the way I know people get to school. People wake up, you have your bath, and you trek to school.
That's stress on its own.
Yeah, that's stress on its own. But when I got to Asaba to see my elder sister, I see children being picked by taxi, being picked by car. I say, what's on here? School run. In the village, what is school run? You run to school yourself. Nobody's school run for you.
Yeah.
So that generation of, a child, if you not tell a child who is being picked by a taxi or a cab every day to go to school, if you ask him to trek, he tell you, man, stress is too much. But for the village child, trekking to school is a normal thing. It's a normal part of his growing up. So stress is more of perception, it's more of understanding and interpretation of what present to you. Somebody said, there was a Roosevelt. He said life is 10% what happened. What happened to you is 10%. How you react to what happened to you is 90%. So your interpretation of pressure is what is stress.
That's a very good one. They're still talking about stress. Is there a difference between the normal stress, everyday stress, and the stress that becomes harmful to the body?
Yes, thank you. Normal stress, like I said, is a matter of definition. Even this word normal is relative. Because like I told you, or like I mentioned earlier, when somebody says, I'm under stress, if someone has to write 4 papers and present in a deadline, maybe you have a deadline of 3 days to write 4 papers of 30 pages each, without using AI or ChatGPT, intellectually tasking exercise. The pressure you are, another person is asked to write 2. If the person that is asked to submit 4 papers has more resilience and more capacity, it will adapt more to the pressure than the person who is to submit 2, who is not used to pressure. So it's relative. So what is normal? So that is why stress eventually boils down to individual coping mechanism. So you are stressed when your coping mechanism is overwhelmed. Are you getting me now? So it is when at the point where pressure is over, where the demands on your body overwhelms your response, that we call it stress. So if somebody has a capacity of, let's say, a 90, another person has capacity of a 40, the person that has a 90 limit capacity will not consider anything stressful. That is a 70. But somebody whose strength is at 30, anything above 40, will start shouting, my stress is too much. That is why people break down to different things. Somebody lose a close person, and after 2-3 months, the person faces life. Another person lose somebody close to him or her. For 2 years, the person slid into depression, coping mechanism. So what is normal is relative. It depends on individual. That is why in the public health sector, in the public domain, you want people. That's why if you come to the hospital, for example, when we are clerking, we are asking some of those factors. So some of those things we ask you: are you married? Are you the only wife? How many children do you have? Is to know the person environment, the meso environment of the person, because you cannot isolate the person from his environment or our environment. So you want to know before you can appropriately prescribe treatment. Okay, you will need this, you will need that in the course of management. So basically, for you to be alive, you need some measure of stress.
So there's actually a difference between the normal everyday stress and the stress that is dangerous to health. So from the medical perspective, can you really say that stress has been considered as normal in Nigeria, that stress has been considered as normal from the medical perspective?
Yes, stress has become normal, but the responses are not normal. Yeah. Like, for example, in Nigeria, you pay tax, you pay bills, school fees of children. These are all normal stress. So you cannot say you don't want stress, you don't want to pay school fees. No. But the problem of, I'm going to give you the stress, when stress becomes positive or negative. They said, put a child in a school you can afford. So if you put a child in a school you can afford, there's no stress on you. It's a normal stress rather. School fees time, January, April, depending if your child are in secondary school or primary school, you follow the term, you pay school fees. That's normal stress. But that stress is no longer normal. If your children, if you put your children in school that you cannot afford the school fees, you're going to be under extra strain. And there are hormones, there are chemicals in the body that the body produces to respond to stress. So the acute stress, you have, for example, as we're in this studio now, if we hear an electrical spark now, God forbid, or we hear an explosion, you will be so surprised at your speed that you will get to the exit. Because it's what we call the flight and fight response, which is inborn. Your adrenaline will shoot up. Your pulse rate will go up, your blood pressure will go up, and you will move. That's why you see women who are pregnant, heavily pregnant, when there's a hot news, the way they scale fence, the way they jump, you're wondering, with this big belly, because it's inborn, there's a flight and fight response in man for acute stress. It's a normal thing. That is for survival. However, you can't be on those high level of hormones perpetually. If you're on them for a sustained period, you start having counterproductive use to your body. You start going to negative, what you call distress. At that point, it may start increasing your blood pressure. You may start having anxiety. You may start having panic attacks. You may start having irritability. These are other things we may come into, depending on your question, lots of questions.
You're taking me to my next question.
Okay,
talking about
right.
how the body responds to stress. Stress is something that we experience daily. So what happens in the body when we experience stress? How do our body respond to stress?
Okay. Well, maybe I was a little ahead of the question.
Yes.
The body response to stress, we have what we call physiologic response to stress, and then we have psychological response to stress. When we talk about physiological response to stress, when there is pressure on your body, when there's a demand on your body, the body mount up resistance. That is why you have what we call acute stress. We've never mentioned the type of stress, but in my course of talk, we've mentioned there's acute stress and chronic stress. Okay. Now, some define acute, subacute, then chronic stress. But basically, you have acute stress, chronic stress, based on the time. The acute stress are things that come for a short time. Okay. Daily stress. You are in a traffic, for example.
That's stressful.
When there's a build-up of traffic, and you are pressed for time, you are more worried than when there's a build-up of traffic and you're not pressed for time. Yes. So perception again. So the body response to stress, first of all, hormones are produced. The adrenaline hormones from the adrenal gland. Well, we'll not go medical so much. This is a public health space in a way. So those hormones helps you mount strength. They increase your energy level because they mobilize glucose from your body so that your legs immediately get high shot of sugar to jump and escape the danger. That is, and in the course of that, your heart rate will increase. What you call tachycardia. Your pulse rate may go above 100. Basically, pulse rate is taken between 60 and 100.
That's for acute stress.
Acute stress. For example, you're in a class. Your lecturer come to class and said, class rep, all of you sit up, bring out your paper, test come now. What happened? That's acute stress.
Okay.
Your BP goes up, your heart rate jumps up. Sometimes some people go into panic mode, they are sweating. Hey, test, you are telling your full scap in those days, once your math teacher come, or in those days, what we call arithmetic teacher, when he come, or mental sum, depending on generation of school you attended, our own time is arithmetic. When the teacher say, tear your foolscap paper and write, or get ready for dictation. They are right, spell, development, anger. There's because you're not expecting
you're not prepared for it.
There's panic. That is acute response. But if you are prepared for the test, your response differs because you know that now I'm going for an exam. So the body response depends on the stimulus. Now, apart from increasing your heart rate, increasing your pulse, your heart rate, your pulse rate, sweating can come. You're in a panic mode. Those are physiological response. Then psychological response, there could be anger when you feel defeated. There could be resentment when you feel overwhelmed. There could be loss of attention when you feel distracted on what you are doing. So the body response to stress can be physiological or psychological. But however, they all manifest interrelatedly. Because, for example, if your heart rate goes up, your BP can go up.
Yeah, I was going to ask about that. For the acute stress, is there maybe a negative aspect to it, something that can be dangerous to health?
Not really, because acute stress actually to push you towards survival. Are you getting me? Acute stress are actually to push you towards survival.
Okay.
It is when it becomes prolonged that it becomes negative. For example, you are in the house, like yesterday night, something happened. There was fire outbreak in our heater.
Wow.
That was an acute stress. By 11 p.m. at night.
11 p.m.
Yeah. My wife has very wonderful nose. She has very powerful sense of cells. She just say, my love, I'm smelling something. I was busy working, trying to prepare for this meet actually. And later, I said, won't you even look around? And I went, checked the electrical points, and I checked. I didn't perceive anything from the socket or on the, I relaxed. I said, let me just check the bathroom, and I saw smoke. Next thing I saw flame. Of course, we went, get fire extinguisher, call for help, and we extinguished it, and then we cleaned towards past 12 or to 1 yesterday night, to this morning. That's an acute stress. It comes, it goes, everybody is happy, survivor. However, if you have to keep quenching fire every day of your life, it means your body is always on a hyper level. That's enough to sustain hypertension. So the long effect of stress is when it is sustained for a period of time. Because another stress hormone that I didn't mention is what they call the cortisol hormone, the cortisol. It's a glucocorticoid, still from the adrenal, but this time around from the adrenal cortex. Now, the point is that hormone immobilizes glucose in the body. However, if that hormone is produced for a long time, it has a tendency to begin to reduce your immunity now. That's why when people are under chronic stress for a long time, chronic stress, for an extended period, their immunity comes down. They are prone to other diseases. They are prone to other sicknesses. Their vulnerability to other sicknesses increase.
That's for chronic stress.
For chronic stress. That's why you now have hypertension. Some even go to have ulcer. Because at that level, there's excessive acid production. And ulcer just means acid burns. In simple language, ulcer means acid burning. You know, in those days, you see people in newspaper, they pour acid on the person, boyfriend snatching, girlfriend snatching, or theft, all those things. Acid generally burns. So, but in this case, of course, it won't burn in the way people, but the acid is a mild level. So when there's excessive acid production, people can come down with ulcer. Because of chronic stress. That's why they always tell you, eat on time. Don't overthink. I know some people thinking produces stress. It's not thinking that produces stress. It's what you do with that thinking. Okay? And if you want to go into spiritual, God will tell you, don't overthink. Because nobody can increase his height by thinking. You can't increase your weight by thinking. You can't, in fact, there are many things that thinking will not do for you. Thinking is good, but overthinking is bad. All right.
So we've had cases, you're a medical doctor, we've had cases of people just slumping and they pass out, or some they lose their lives. So can we say the sudden death we've recorded in Nigeria is as a result of stress?
Well, stress may be a factor, like we say in medicine or in sciences. Many things can cause one thing. I will explain. For example, if a man comes and says, I'm having headache. Headache can be from poor sleep, can be from dehydration, not having enough water, can be from low sugar, hypoglycemia. There are even some headaches that come from after sexual activity, call them sexual headaches. So headaches can come from a lot of things. So when people slump and die, there could be other factors. Of course, hypertension could be there, cardiac arrest could be there, massive stroke from poorly controlled hypertension can be there. Poorly controlled diabetes can cause people to enter what you call DKA. They can die, but that will not be sudden death. That will be. So stress can cause sudden death, but stress is not the only cause of sudden death. Other factors. Now, when we say stress again as sudden death, you find out that in Nigeria, because we are discussing now, we must bring it home.
Yes.
We must bring it home. Many people are into many things at the same time. So people are not sleeping well. People are not even eating well. They just grab. In fact, there's even a company where, let me not advertise them. I think it's something like grab and go. It's good, grab and go. But you see, if you are living on such diet every now and then, how healthy? So you need to know your diet. So there are many factors people don't look into. I'm hustling. But there's little you can do. There's little you can do. You cannot do more than your capacity. You can't attend any ceremony 80 kilometers away. Then the same day you want to attend a child dedication. The same day you want to visit you will break down. So people need to know how to manage their expectations. I'm sure we are now moving into how to manage stress.
Yeah.
So people need to know, what is my coping capability? What can I do? What is my strength?
Yes, strength.
Yeah.
Yes.
Because if 3 people are competing on that place of strength, there'll be no problem. But when you are asking somebody who cannot climb a tree to swim, I mean, if some people can climb trees, they can't swim. But if you not tell everybody to swim as your test for them, you are being unfair to the person whose swimming is not his natural advantage. But if they are all swimmers and you say swim, they're on fair ground. That's a level playing field. So people's response to stress depends on what is facing them. But so in Nigeria here, people are into many things. So people are doing business, 4 businesses, 5 businesses. I can do all things, mentality, and it's overwhelming them. Like I said, stress is when your coping ability is overwhelmed by the demands on your body. That is stress. So to that extent, sudden death can be caused by stress, but it's not the only cause of death. Are you getting me now?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, thank you.
So I'm still talking about stress. You said something about knowing your capability, knowing your strength, what you can take, and also what you can do.
Yeah.
So, dealing with stress is part of everyday life, and people handle it they handle it differently, just like you said earlier. So, based on your experience as a doctor, would you say most people manage stress well?
Well, from my experience as a doctor, people are not. There's a growing awareness now. Let's give it to medical science. Let's give it to a lot of people. Like now, we are doing education now. Education is increasing now. So people are beginning to have change of lifestyle.
Okay.
The pillar of stress management is lifestyle modification. That is a pillar of of managing stress. So the awareness is increasing. So as a doctor, we are seeing increasing uptick of lifestyle modification. People are now voluntarily submitting themselves for counseling, for help. People are beginning to speak out now. People are beginning to stop keeping silent, because sometimes people die in silence. You're having pressure on you, nobody to talk to. But now there are a lot of psychotherapists. There are people who are therapists, who are people who listen to you. Just say it. They just listen to you.
Yes, just say
in fact, I'm thinking of how to start that business. Maybe I should advertise here. Just come, talk to me, then you pay and you go. Talk therapy. Sometimes they're not talking to you to get solution. They just want to pour it out. So to that extent, people are beginning to adopt positive lifestyle. I think we'll come to that later. Measures that we can take. But as a doctor, to answer your question, people are beginning to accept that stress needs to be faced. If you go to some places in Abuja here, for example, I know of Jabi Lake Mall. If you go to Gaines Village Junction, you see people early morning do exercise. People are beginning to take time to walk outdoors. People walk their dog and also in that process exercise themselves. There's increasing demand now, or increasing sale of Fitbits, step counter, different apps, different software to monitor your steps. Like I have a boss almost every day. He shows me I've covered 4 kilometers.
Wow.
I've done 10,000 steps. So there are a lot of apps, a lot of tools now that are in use, that people are beginning to use to help themselves come out of that sedentary life. No, before, big men don't walk around. But we found out that when you're a big man, you don't walk around. You're actually inviting diabetes, type 2 diabetes, because type 2 diabetes is associated with sedentary life. When you become a big man, even to make coffee for yourself, people have to make coffee for you. And then people have to do everything for you. You are enjoying life, but you are killing yourself. But people now, big men now move around, either with bodyguard or no bodyguard. Now, some have treadmill in their homes, in their houses. So to that extent, as a doctor, people are beginning to take lifestyle more seriously than before. And I think we are winning in that regard.
All right. We'll go on a short break and we'll be right back. Stay with us.
I report. Have you ever witnessed a crime or suspicious activity around you? Don't stay silent. Take action. You can now report crimes easily by sending videos to us on iReport. Record a video and a brief narration of the incident with the location and send to 0701 372 8007 on WhatsApp only. Your action could help save a life or stop a crime in progress. Stay alert, stay safe, be the voice.
You know, as a woman being, if you work, every day we are working, like we are always busy as a bee. So if your body must tired. If you tired, definitely when you close from work, you have to go and take your bath, eat enough fruit and good food, then you rest well.
Yeah, first to me personal, my body I will feel very weak, most especially from my leg, and everyone knows when as age grows, the weakness usually from the leg, and start from the leg. So the same thing as you overstress yourself, most time me myself, I feel that weakness from my leg. That shows me or give me the signal that okay, overstress myself.
Anytime that my body gets into stress, they react where they do. For example, if I feel tired about the work that I'm doing, but if now my body the whole like this, I will find some small drugs to take. Then I will find place for me to sleep. Anytime that I wake up, I will feel my body normally.
Welcome back from that break. This is still Third Africa Television, and the program is Watch Your Back. We still have Dr. Levin Damisah, and for the past few minutes, he has been educating us on stress and how we need to stay safe and also watch our health. Dr. Levin Damisah is a public health physician and a development consultant in family dynamics and geopolitics. It's good to have you in our studio, sir.
Thank you once again, Ms. Margaret.
You said something about people having 5 businesses, 4 businesses, and all that. As individuals, as Nigerians, where do you think we experience stress most? Is it in business? Is it in family? Is it in our workplace? Where do you think we experience the stress the most? Okay,
well, it will be difficult to pinpoint where people experience stress the most, but nonetheless, is a principle. Whether you are in the academia, whether it's family, whether it's business, the principles are the same. What are your priorities? What are your priorities? You find out that when you set priorities, you are able to say no to things that will eat into your time. We call it the law of priority. In the law of priority, if it's urgent and important, do it now. Okay. If it's important but not urgent, later. If it's not important, it's not urgent, don't do it. That is a law, or that is a principle. But many people are doing what is not urgent, what is not important. So if you crowd your day with non-urgent and non-important issues, you now have little time to do what is important. So time management is crucial to stress management. Most of us, have you seen some accident on the airport road? You have flight by 5 p.m. and you know that the counter will close 40 minutes to your boarding time. And you know that you are not the owner of the road. Your flight is 5. You are leaving Cairo or leaving you are leaving 30 minutes to time. You are going to be speeding like who is going to hell. And many of them end up dying. So the point I'm making is that because the law of priority was not applied. If I have a flight by 4 p.m., wisdom tells me that by 2 p.m., anywhere I am, I should be on my way to the airport. Leaving 1 hour for eventuality. So many people don't apply that principle. So as a businessman, if you don't set your priorities right, you're going to have issue with stress. As a family person, I mentioned issue of school fees for you. As a family, if you don't prioritize your income, your earning, and your expenditure, If you don't reconcile them, you're going to be under stress. So it's about perception. It's about coping capacity. So to some extent, you can say that if you want to live above stress, set your priorities. That is the first thing. Is it important? Is not important. The other thing again is that you must learn to say no. Most of the stresses people go through around me is inability to say no to some things. I'll share you a story with you. As a corporate doctor, as a doctor, you are trained, you be humanitarian. People forget that the doctor has a life.
Yeah, outside.
Don't forget that the doctor has family. Of course, then I was not married. But you have your life. The first day I told a patient as a corporate doctor, then I was the only doctor that was seeing 2 local government areas.
Wow.
That time. I served in Bauchi State. Yeah. At that time, I was the only doctor that was covering 2 local governments, Tafa Balewa and Bogoro local government area. So I do operations, I do surgery, you do cesarean section, you do angiography, you do appendectomy, you do antenatal, you see patients, so you are everything. Now, with my boss, sometimes weekend is not around, so you are left alone. But as a copper, you move around. I found out that there was a day one guy came. I can't forget the man's name. I mean, I still see his face. Because that was why it's so important to me that was the first time I could look at a patient in the eye and say, "Sir, I am tired. I can't attend to you today." In fact, when I got home to my official quarter that time, I clapped for myself. I was proud of myself that I could say no to a patient when I was tired. So the point is that people find difficult to say no. But I tell you, you can't say yes to everything. You'll be under stress. For me to be here, I have to cancel another appointment. If I don't cancel that appointment, I'll be under pressure to keep time here and to keep time there. There's a client I'm to meet today. I said, no, let's meet tomorrow because I have a place to be. So you must learn to say no. Most Nigerians don't learn to say no. And sometimes people make you look bad when you say no. No. Saying no is therapeutic. Saying no saves you from stress. I cannot overshout it. I cannot overemphasize. Even in family system, you must learn to say no, but learn to say no to those things that need to be said no. You can't be everywhere. You can't attend every program. One of our mentors, well, this is not the church program, but she's a woman I respect so much. He said, you can't attend every wedding. And the principle is that any program that your absence does not affect it, your going there may not be necessary. Of course, there are gray areas, but it's just a check. For example, I have a wedding to attend. Ask yourself in that wedding, if I don't attend that wedding, will it affect anything? If no, then you now ask yourself, must I be there? Because the ability to say no can keep you from accident, keep you from making unnecessary enemies, keep you from making a lot of incurring damages. So we must learn to say no.
And still take us to setting our priorities right and time management.
Yes, time management, priorities, and setting clear lines, clear boundaries. People then know how to set boundaries. That is why people have issues saying no to people. In stress management, you must learn to say no, and you must also know when to say no and when to say yes. It's very important. Then again, what makes other people stress is that they expect everybody to be perfect. You are not perfect. I'm not saying we should take people misbehaviors. No. But expect imperfection from people. If you don't create room for imperfection, you're going to be worked up. You'll be under constant pressure, constant tension. And when you're under constant tension, you are allowing your hormones, your stress hormones to be built up. Your adrenaline is always high. Your cortisol is always high. And in that mode, it's going to start having an effect on your health. So you must expect imperfection. Have you not seen people who always work up for everything? And if this pen is not here, the way they will shout, they will raise hell. because the pen is not here. But if I know that this pen is meant to be here in this, maintaining this shape, but while the cleaner is cleaning the table to set the studio, something may happen that the finger may touch it and change it. If I make room for that, if I come and I see that the pen has shift position, I just quickly put it there.
Instead of reacting.
I just respond, oh, maybe. But if it's keep happening, I'll not call. Say, come, each time you clean here, replace every item the way you made them. Yes, ma'am. Simple. But if you're overworked for every imperfection, you're going to destroy yourself. So you must learn to respect that you are imperfect and other people are imperfect. But what you do, you must always expect people in their best behavior. That is all. So with that, you are able to affect life and affect yourself the more. All right? Yeah.
During our conversation earlier, before we went on break, you said something about overthinking. And you can agree with me that our thoughts are common cause of stress. But what are the best ways to manage it?
Okay, good. I used to have a boss. I still have a boss. I learned that from him. Manage expectations. People don't manage expectations. If I'm going to make a request to you now, I must be ready to take no for an answer. Once you have trained yourself, so one of the mechanisms for coping with stress is train yourself to accept no also. Just as you can tell people no, be ready as well to accept a no from people. Life is simple. If you can say no to people, you can also you should to accept no. So coming to your question, what do you do to avoid overthinking? People overthink because they think more of themselves. People think they are so important. You are not so important. I'm not saying you should look down on yourself. I mean that you say you must have healthy self-esteem. Don't overrate yourself and don't underrate yourself. Just have it. The essence of life is balance. Are you getting me? The essence of life is balance. So why are you overthinking? You're overthinking because you think people owe you. Nobody's owing you anything. Most of the stress people go through is because of unmet needs.
Expectations.
Yes, unmet expectation. And why are they unmet? Because you've already tied your mind that I'm going to call my uncle. He will send me money. Why should you have it in mind your uncle will send you money when you don't even know what your uncle's situation is? And that your uncle sent you money last year doesn't mean he's sending money this year. Things may have changed. There may be increasing demands. So, but when you don't have that understanding, you'll be on overdrive, always thinking. And again, my professor is late now. He said, many a time you think people are talking about you. He said 90% of time, nobody is discussing you. He was giving us the advice during final year exam. He said, make sure you read and pass, because if you don't pass now, if you have a seat in medical school and you see your friends talking, you think they're gossiping you, you will not take another road. You know, late Professor Kubenje is late now. So, but the point is that nobody cares about you. Nobody's discussing you. People have their own issues to discuss. So why are you overthinking? They're laughing at me. Nobody's laughing at you. And then people will also learn to take. Nobody is perfect. And again, there's something that people don't understand. Everybody has a child in him. Every woman has a girl in her. Every man has a boy in him. People kill that boy and kill that girl and expect life to be serious. No. Many a time, have fun. Many a time, play. Sometimes relax. This is not a marriage teaching. I told you what I do with my wife sometimes. Sometimes I pick a wig and wear that wig. Just laugh. Yeah. Sometimes I pick a bra, wear a bra. We just laugh.
Just ease off the stress.
You must create your own fun. You must create your own happiness. Like I said, stress is more of perception. Stress can be real. It can be perceived. The threat is real or perceived. It's all about in the mind. That's why I said stress is both medical and spiritual. It's both psychological. So most of the thing we see, the bodily response is the physical part. What happens in the mind is more. What you see in the body, high blood pressure, increased heart rate, sweating, that's the tip of the iceberg. the damage of stress is more in the body. Some people become more forgetful. Some become very irritable, losing business opportunities. Some will snap at you. Have you not seen somebody snapping at you for little thing? It's because of built-up stress, carry over stress. They dump their stress on you. They stress from home. No, you must learn to adjust to situation. For example, if I get to a traffic and the traffic is heavy, I can't move. Why are you saying, oh no? Yeah, just wait for the traffic to go. You can't do otherwise. Are you going to shout? If you shout, you overwork yourself. Your shouting does not drive your car. If you come down from your car and fight with other motorists, it doesn't affect you. So you must learn to manage your expectation. That is key to avoiding overthinking as a component of stress management.
Let's talk about chronic stress. When does stress become chronic?
Okay. Stress become chronic when you refuse to let go your stressors. Stress become chronic if you sustain for a long time, if you allow that pressure. For example, let me give you a typical example. If you are living in a place where your income cannot sustain your rent, what is the wise thing to do?
Is to look for somewhere that can
relocate, right?
Yes.
But if you keep staying in that place, your stress is going to be extended. You'll be under chronic stress. You take loan to pay rent. After paying the rent, you pay in 11 months. As you finish paying again, you are taking another loan for the next year. Is that a wise way of living? So most of the chronic stress people find themselves is self-inflicted. The wisdom is that if you are in an accommodation or in this place where your income cannot sustain your rent, you move to a place that is lower. It's not a permanent thing. A time will come, you'll become more comfortable to afford that thing. Let me give you an instance, because it's good to talk from experience. When I married my wife, or when we got married, we went for honeymoon. Life just starting. By the grace of God, by this April, we'll be 20 years in marriage. Yeah. So, we fixed our wedding April 22. So, by the time you're finishing, they are paying salary. So, but the point is that the first hotel we went for honeymoon in Abuja here, I don't want to call them so that I don't give them free advert. When we got to the hotel, how much is that time? You say a room, 8,500. 20 years ago, that was heavy money. 8,500. Who can afford it? But it means we just do only 2 days, no room. And who want to spend a week? We left, we said to where the hotel was situated, or is situated, the hotel is still there now. We left there, we went to Gariki and looked for a cheaper hotel. And we entered the cheaper hotel. When our money was going down for the days we changed room and stayed in the same hotel. No pressure. So most people come under chronic stress because people don't want to act with reality. Why should I go and stay in a hotel I cannot afford? So chronic stress oftentimes is when you allow that demand to be on you and you cannot effect a change. There are some things, some people, I don't like this algorithm, the mnemonics, but you must be allowed to environment. You must learn to adjust. One of the things about stress management is adjustment. You must learn to adjust your program, adjust your expectation, adjust your schedule so that you cope better. Don't allow yourself to be under pressure. Like accommodation, it's your school fees. If you have children in school and you know that your paymenting obligation is tough, change school for them. Change school for them. After all, the most time in Nigeria, the best result in WAEC are from public schools. It's not so many people are in self-afflicted stress because of status thing. Status. I must buy this phone under pressure. Some even go to steal, some even do a lot of things to buy a phone. After you buy the phone, the next 3 months they release a newer model. You're under pressure again. I must get an offer. Why? Expectation. So people need to know some of these things so that you don't put yourself under pressure. Most of the things that put people under stress are self-inflicted. I'll keep saying.
Yeah. If I'm to get what you've said so far concerning chronic stress, is a stress that stayed for a long time.
Because that pressure, the demand is on you and you have not adjusted to it.
So what can be the resultant effect of this chronic stress on individuals?
A lot of things can happen. Chronic stress can cause ulcer. Chronic stress can lead to depression. Chronic stress can lead to anxiety. It can lead to, okay, there are symptoms. Let's start from there. You start having headaches. Some people start having sleep disorders, either insomnia, lack of sleep, or excessive sleep. So their productivity goes down. Acute stress is productive. Chronic stress will make you have all this we mentioned: irritability, ulcer, hypertension. And you know, hypertension on its own is a full module. Hypertension can damage the kidneys. Hypertension can damage the eyes. It can damage the brain. Can damage the heart. So chronic stress can lead to a reduced immunity that makes you vulnerable to other diseases. So it's endless. So the best thing is to pause. Why am I under pressure? Why do I put myself on unrealistic expectation? These are things people need to do to avoid chronic stress.
And the point that it gets to maybe chronic stress,
Yeah.
As a medical doctor, is there medications for this?
Okay. Well, you know, I mentioned issue of lifestyle modification. I'm a member of Society of Lifestyle Medicine in Nigeria. Our president, our pioneer president, one Dr. Monye, very wonderful woman, is a leader of world repute. She came up with an acronym which have become the pillar of lifestyle medicine all over the world. DREAMS. D for diet and healthy nutrition. R for rests. People don't rest very well. E for exercise. A, avoiding abuse of psychoactive substances. M, managing stress. The S is sleep. That acronym, DREAMS, is what we are using to manage most of these lifestyle modifications.
Okay.
It's not, there are drugs. For example, if stress is giving you sleepless night, we'll prescribe sedative for you to sleep, but they're not sustainable. You can't be on sedative forever. In fact, when you prescribe sedative drugs, I don't want to name any particular brand. When you go to pharmacy, they also give you a book to sign. They call it poison book. You sign so that they know it was dispensed and prescribed. We call them prescription medicine. The pharmacist will give you the register, you sign. I've signed a couple of times because I prescribe. But if you prescribe a sedative for 2-3 months, you have to defend it because normally it's 2-3 days, 4-5 days. So you cannot be on sedative forever. So sedative can be used to manage stress, but they're short-term intervention. Then for those who have hypertension as a result of stress, that means that one, they have to be on drugs for a long time. If somebody have ulcer from stress, we place them on anti-ulcer drugs. But the backbone will still be lifestyle modification, DREAMS, diet, rest, having association with having positive relationship. Sorry, the R is relationship, the R. D for diet, R is relationship. Because we found out that positive relationships are very good in preventing stress. What they call positive vibes. If you are always around toxic people, you find out that you're going to be toxic. It will affect you. Communication corrupt, it's an evil communication, corrupt good manners. You are the average of 5 people around you. So if you are always in a toxic environment, your thinking starts getting toxic. You start becoming wicked. You say, show me your friend, I'll tell you who you are. That is how stress is. If you have to manage your environment. Stay around people who are positive. Stay around people. So there are medication, but medication for stress is a last resort. That's what I'm saying. Exercise is there. So before we write drug, we'll tell you to take watch your diet. How do you eat? Late food? Late dinner? Are you always eating fatty food? Are you always eating one? So there are steps. Drug, people always tell me, say, just write drug. I said to write prescription is the simplest thing. 2 minutes, what is 2 minutes? 20 seconds, name, female, age, adult, this. But the person is killing you. Because drugs, they are chemicals. They have side effects. Sometimes you come to my house, my wife is a witness, you don't even have paracetamol at home. paracetamol. Sometimes I don't have paracetamol at all. Because if I have headache, the first thing I want to ask myself, have I have enough sleep? Have I taken enough water? Am I hungry? I have to check this list before I think of paracetamol. And many a time, when you sleep very well, when you wake up, the headache is gone. So you don't need paracetamol. But people, most time, headache, bam, paracetamol. Yet you've not slept well, you are dehydrated, there's fever, it could be malaria. So drug is never the first thing. That's what I'm trying to say. So, yeah.
All right. So, before we are short of time, before we go, your final words for Nigerians when it comes to stress, how they should manage stress. Your final words for viewers.
Our time has gone so fast.
Yes.
I thought we have so much to do. Okay, there's a guy, or there's some guy, what we call the exhausting performance score. Stress is not always negative. Stress, which I can show them the chart, it's like a Gaussian curve. There's a stress that is productive up to a particular point. So performance can actually increase with stress until a particular level, what they call the Yerkes-Dodson curve. So stress can be productive until a particular point before it starts becoming counterproductive. So stress to Nigerian is good. Acute stress, we call it eustress. Your stress, positive stress, is productive, is positive. But the one that we are standing against is the negative one, the one that makes you counterproductive, makes you toxic, make you cantankerous in your environment. Have you not seen people that say that one is a time bomb? Avoid him, avoid her. It's IED. It shouldn't be so. And most people don't know how to manage their stress. They don't know how to avoid. They don't know how to alter the environment. They don't know how to accept what cannot change. And they don't know how to adapt. The 4 A's of stress management are avoid, alter the environment, adapt, and accept. You must learn to apply this from time to time so that you can survive. I think we remember those days. One of the characteristics of living things is adaptability. You must be able to adapt, especially in the Nigeria of today. You must choose your battles. You can't win every battle. At the same time, you can't say yes to every invitation. Even as a pastor, there are some places I cannot go. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much. It's so good to have you on this program. You've enlightened us so much, talking about stress and how we should manage it. Thank you so much for coming on the program.
Thank you very much.
All right, so,
and lastly, people should have their me time. Me time. You must have time for yourself. Me time is very important.
Yeah.
I do it every day. Just stay alone, 5-10 minutes, time. Enjoy yourself. Allow yourself to travel. You'll be good for it. The power naps are all good. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much for coming on the program.
Thank you.
And to you, our viewers, so good to have you on this program. This is Watch Your Back on Third Africa Television. For the past 1 hour, Jerry about to be talking about stress and how to manage it and how it can affect our health. Do want to join us for another interesting package of the program. My name is Margaret Ogumesi. Thank you for watching.